Senator Marsha Blackburn. Senator, it's great to have you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. What do you know about this drop-off of migrants in Tennessee?
Maria, what we know is that the Biden administration is absolutely living in fantasy land if they're telling people that that border is secure. They have apprehended 500,000 illegal entrants since Joe Biden took office. And what they've begun to do is to move them out and about around the country so that they are offloading the cost for housing, child services, health care, education to the states and the counties. And what we have found out is that they had these planes coming into Chattanooga, putting these children on buses, and then taking them to communities around the area. Now, Jen Psaki has been over at the White House saying they were just moving them closer to relatives. But HHS has said they have been housing illegal migrants since April in the Chattanooga area. So somebody needs to clean their story up, and they need to come clean with the people of Tennessee and the people of this country so that we know what it is that is happening. The governor in Tennessee had actually told them, we will decline the request, and they did it anyway.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Ken Paxton told me the same thing, I'll tell you. He said that what they're doing is sending migrants to red states to, just what you said, unload the cost of all of the services that come along with, for example, refugees programs. It's expensive, and it's state paid. So it's unbelievable. We don't have any comments from the White House on this, by the way, but you're the second person who has told me that they're doing this. There's also a report that ICE is unable to track most illegal immigrants released into the country, and that ICE has released illegal immigrants, and it's happening at an increasing pace. In fact, they've released illegal immigrants into the interior of our country dramatically since January. You just said that they're taking them to where they say they have family. How do we know they have family, Senator? I mean, we're getting migrants coming into this country with a backpack, right? They're not holding anything in many cases because they just got in a raft, and they got in the raft at 40 yards away from America, and they got into Texas, and then somehow they became legal residents until they can see a judge. So how is it possible that we know that they have sponsors or family in the interior of this country? Can we actually confirm that?
Maria, the only sponsor we know they have is a cartel, and that they are paying to bring them to that border and then have them cross that border, raise their hands and say asylum. And that is what we know.
Unbelievable.
And then this catch and release. You know, President Trump did a great job securing that border and working with the Border Patrol to meet their needs. Now what we're hearing from Border Patrol and ICE and local law enforcement is this thing is out of control. They cannot keep up. They are apprehending, and then they're having to release into the country these individuals that are not just from Mexico or Central America. They are from 160 different countries around the globe. And the cartels are the ones in charge. So the U.S. taxpayer is finishing the cartel's job for them and getting these individuals around the country. And they're in sex trafficking gangs. They're labor gangs, MS-13, drug traffickers, and they are being pushed around the country. Every town's a border town. Every state is a border state, and local elected officials and local law enforcement have had it with the Department of Homeland Security, Secretary Mayorkas. This is ridiculous.
They're seizing drugs, they're seizing ammunition and guns. It's absolutely extraordinary what's going on, and Kamala Harris will not go. Jen Psaki she answers these reporters in such an arrogant way. It's unbelievable. All right, look, we're going to deal with this. The cost, I know, is going to start being a focus real soon. But I got to ask you about the spending discussions in Washington, because a group of Republican senators are going to meet to discuss whether or not to put another offer forward. In contrast to Biden's now lower $1.7 trillion spending bill. Do you want to see a smaller bill than what is on the table? Do you want to see just hard infrastructure, roads and bridges? Do you think you'll be able to stop higher taxes from this administration?
Well, we're fighting every day to do just that. Bear in mind, last Congress, the Senate had agreed on an infrastructure bill for roads, bridges, highways, ports, waterways, broadband. And that was a $350 billion bill. Now, what they're trying to say is, well, we'll cut the cost from $2.3 trillion to $1.7 trillion, but we consider all of these other things to be infrastructure. In Memphis, Tennessee, the I-40 bridge that goes from North Carolina to California, this bridge goes over the Mississippi River. It is shut down, zero traffic, because there is a crack in it. This is a great example of why we have to have maintenance dollars for these infrastructure projects. Now, we don't know when that bridge is going to be open to traffic again. And this is I-40 that goes coast to coast, and it is now shut down because of an infrastructure issue.
Unbelievable. Senator, I'll just point out that this smaller bill that Biden is out with, $1.7 trillion, they actually took the money from the hard infrastructure. Liz Peek writes about this in her op-ed this week. It's unbelievable. They actually made the hard infrastructure numbers lower. That's how they made the bill lower.
Right.
That's outrageous. Marsha Blackburn, it's great to see you. Yeah, it's fantasy land is a good word for it. We'll see you soon, Marsha Blackburn. Thank you. We'll be right back.